My first night away from home, an emotional English learning story, female perspective. I still remember the sound of the door closing behind me. It echoed in my ears like a bell. My home, small, warm, full of memories, was slowly disappearing behind the dust of the departing bus. My mother stood there, waving, her hands trembling. My little brother clung to her leg, crying. I didn't look back for long because I knew if I did, I wouldn't be able to leave at all. I had never slept anywhere outside my home before. My stomach was in knots. I held onto my bag tightly like it was a shield. It had a picture of a kitten on it. My mother stitched it on when I was 10. I was 15 now, but she insisted I keep it. "She'll protect you," she said. I smiled at the time. But now, sitting on a bus heading to a girls' hostel in the city, I wanted to believe it was true. The bus ride felt like a tunnel. I watched fields, trees, and houses go by, but I couldn't feel any of it. All I could feel was the emptiness. I was scared, not just of being away from home, but of the unknown things that might wait for me in that hostel. I was the first girl from my family to leave home for school. It was supposed to be a proud thing, but I felt anything but proud. I arrived late in the evening. The city smelled different, of smoke, traffic, and something else I couldn't name. The hostel building was tall and cold-looking. A woman at the gate checked my name and let me in. No smile, no kindness, just rules. "Don't be out after lights out. No phones after 10. Be careful whom you trust." Those were her exact words. I didn't understand the last part then, but I would. The room I was given had 4 beds. 2 girls were already there. They didn't look at me when I entered. One of them was painting her nails. The other had earphones in. I smiled and said hello. No one answered. I chose the corner bed and sat down. The blanket was rough. The mattress had a stain. There was a single window that didn't close properly. The room was silent, except for the sound of someone's gum chewing. I missed home. I missed my mother's voice, my brother's laughter, and the smell of food cooking. That night, I couldn't sleep. I cried quietly into my pillow. I held the kitten-stitched bag against my chest. I didn't know why everything felt so hard. Wasn't this what I had wanted? A chance to study? To become someone? I finally drifted off sometime past midnight, but my sleep was short. I woke up to the sound of the door creaking open. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but then I saw someone standing near the door. It was a man, maybe in his 20s. He wore a delivery uniform. He stepped in quietly. He didn't see me watching. He walked toward the bed of the girl with earphones in. I froze. He touched her shoulder. She woke up suddenly and screamed. The lights turned on. The other girl shouted. The man ran out before anyone could catch him. Later that night, the warden came. She was angry, not with the man, but with the girl. She blamed her for not locking the window. She blamed her for attracting attention. She even blamed us for not behaving properly. No one reported it. I wanted to ask why, but I already knew the answer. The next morning, I sat alone on the bench outside the hostel. A senior girl sat beside me. She didn't introduce herself, just said, "Don't let anyone touch your light. They'll try. You have to guard it." I didn't reply. I couldn't. My voice was stuck in my throat, but her words stayed with me. I went to school that day. I tried to focus. But every time a teacher asked me something, I hesitated. I didn't want attention. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want another shadow at my window. Still, I wrote in my notebook, every single word. I listened to the lectures. I read every page of my English book twice. I was determined to learn. Not just English, but strength. Not just grammar, but how to speak up. Not just vocabulary, but how to say no. Days passed. I started to understand the girls in the hostel better. We were all scared. We all cried in the dark. We all missed something. Some of us missed home. Some missed people who hurt us. And some missed versions of themselves they hadn't seen in a long time. But slowly we started to talk. One night, under the dim light of a phone torch, the three of us shared our stories. One girl had been sent away because her uncle made her uncomfortable. No one believed her. Another had run away from a forced marriage. And me, I told them about my father, about how he left when I was a child, and how I had always wanted to prove I could be more than what he believed girls were worth. That night, we didn't sleep. But we didn't cry either. We listened. We healed. I still remember my first time speaking English in front of the class. My hands trembled. I mispronounced 3 words, but I finished my sentence. And my teacher smiled. "You have courage," she said. "That's more powerful than perfection." I walked back to the hostel that day feeling taller, like I was finally becoming the person my mother believed I could be. But life didn't stop testing me. One evening, I was alone in the library when the male janitor walked in. He said something I didn't understand. His eyes looked wrong. His smile was too slow. He walked too close. I stepped back. "Leave," I said. Loud, clear, English. He paused. "Go now," I said again. He turned around and left. Maybe he thought I'd scream. Maybe he saw the fire in my eyes. But he left. That night I cried again, but this time not from fear, from pride. I told my mother about it days later in a letter. She wrote back, "You are the girl I never got to be. You are stronger than I ever was. Keep walking, even when your legs shake." I kept that letter with me. I read it on the nights when the world felt too heavy. I'm older now. I've learned English. I've written essays, passed exams, and helped other girls speak. I've told stories like mine to students, teachers, and strangers, and I still remember that first night. The silence, the fear, the tears, the unwanted hand on a shoulder, the scream, the shame, the strength that followed. I'm still that girl who left home with a kitten-stitched bag, but now I have a voice, and I use it, because silence was never meant to be our destiny.